Hi and welcome to another free.volous episode. I hope you're all well, and this is another chapter of my makeup reset series saga. If you do not know, I have a full playlist of the makeup reset series here on my channel, and it's all about, you know, going through my makeup collection and really being honest with myself, deciding what I do not want to keep anymore, what I'm just hoarding at this moment that I do not use, do not grab for anymore, and curating a bit my makeup collection while at the same time kind of rekindling my love for makeup and for products that maybe have been a bit forgotten, things that I, that I still love and that still spark joy for me. And yeah, that's been a whole process, and you have all the videos on my playlist if you want to give it a watch. And yeah, a big part of that is, of course, decluttering. And yesterday, actually, I sat down and filmed a couple of declutters for you. And the first one is the one I'm showing you today. It's going to be a concealer declutter. It's not the most interesting subject. I know makeup palettes, usually eye palettes are the thing, and maybe foundations, which I really love also. But for me, concealers, I had accumulated several that with time I stopped using, and you move on to greener pastures, I guess. And I forgot some I had, and I had some fun, and I wanted to be thorough and go through each and every one of the concealers that I have, letting you know the pros and the cons for me and my personal experience, and which ones I'm getting rid of at the end of the day. The main things are usually color matching. I have an olive undertone, which is a bit harder to come upon, to find in the market. And at the same time, my skin isn't getting younger, so I've always had acne, so it's one of those things where I really need concealers to work with my skin. And so I did curate quite a bit. I still kept several, of course, but those are concealers that I really like, that I swear by, and I'm not keeping any extra noise in my drawers, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please consider subscribing, talking about my channel to your friends, and giving me a like, chatting with me in the comments below or on Instagram. I'm at the free.volous. And other than that, let's move on, and I'll do the final sum up at the end of the video. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, let's start with these that may be catching your eye. Why does she have so many Marc Jacobs concealers? Well, I had one, I really loved it, and then when I knew they were going out of business, I decided to buy on those Sephora huge sales, about 10 euros each product. I decided to buy a few more as restocking. Problem was they didn't have my shade, which is this one, number 30. So I dabbled around looking into the website, because we can open the concealers, looking into the website and all of that, and trying to look for close colors. Sort of succeeded, but there are a couple of them that really don't fit me anymore, or that don't really suit my skin tone. That's what I mean. This is number 26, and this is number 39. This is too dark, 26 is too light, and I'm gonna keep 33. As you may have seen, I've marked the bottoms with the numbers. So these two staying. Okay, another one. This is a throwback again. If you've watched my videos for quite a while, you know this product. This is by Cover FX. I'm fearing the loss of Cover FX before it even goes out of business, but anyway. These are brilliant stick concealers. These are the Cover Click concealers. They have been discontinued, which again makes me fear for their longevity.
The color range on these ones was amazing. They had golden undertones, neutral undertones, pink undertones, all that jazz. Lots and lots of shades, actual shades from pale to really dark, before it was a Fenty thing. And these concealers, they're sticks, and they really perform amazingly, both as sort of actual concealer to thickly cover whatever you want, and as a foundation also. You can sheer them out because they're creamy enough for that. And if you want to know, they came full to the brim, and I've used these so much. So much. Is this, oh, damn it. Yeah, it's full down, and this one is G50. Yeah, G50 is even more used up because it's a darker color, so you can see. I know these are probably expired. I've tried them out. They haven't changed in terms of smell or anything, and I still have the Marc Jacobs ones. I have no reason to keep them, but I'm going to keep them for a bit longer, and then I'm going to save one of these in my nostalgia drawer for sure, because this was an amazing product that nobody talked about and slipped under the radar, sadly. But yeah, it's a great one. I'm just going to get rid of the darkest color, which is N80, because I used it for bronzing, contouring with coverage, because this is a thick stick, but I never grab it anymore, so this can go. Now. Sticking with the sticks, let's talk about the Dermablend, Vichy Dermablend Concealer. It's correcting concealer. This is a number 45. My problem with Vichy and their Dermablend range, as effective as it is terrible in terms of shades, and this is no exception. This color is a bit too pinky peach on me, and it doesn't work. I tried to make it work many times. As you can see, again, it used to be just up to here, and it's already used down a bit, but to be realistic. And the formula is a bit drying. When you have a drying blemish, for instance, it feels like it's catching on to the texture on your skin instead of helping kind of deflect your attention from it. So yeah, this one can easily go. It's an easy pass for me. Sad that they don't have a more comprehensive shade range though. This is the MAC Studio Fix Perfecting Stick in NC30, which is one of my MAC shades. A great stick concealer. It is quite creamy, less dense and almost powdery than the Vichy one here, but yeah. Ooh, emails. But I haven't reached for it in a while. It's been a while. It's not my favorite formula. It covers, but it's not the best in that department. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Now this was a miss just because my shade matching was off. In my defense, this is described as medium warm, number 7. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Concealer. It is a phenomenal texture. Again, you can see I tried to use it quite a lot, and the texture of this is incredible. It's super creamy. It blends into the skin without feeling too heavy, but it gives you quite a lot of concealage power. Although it looks quite yellow, as you can see, when applied to my skin, it turns slightly pink. Can you see that? I hope you can. And it is too light for me, so I haven't used it. I highly recommend this product, the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Concealer, in terms of texture and the finish. It's not too glowy. It doesn't sink too much in fine lines. It doesn't enhance your texture. But the shade was not it, so this one is going. This This, if you remember this, you've been watching beauty YouTube videos for a while. This was all the rage for 5 minutes there on the YouTube timeline many years ago. This is Dermacol. This is a foundation, a film and, theatre foundation. And it was a huge discovery. And I had to try it way back when. And this is phenomenal. In terms of coverage, this is impressive. If you have tattoos and stuff like that to cover, if you want high coverage, this is an old school cream foundation that gives you the coverage of a concealer. And in terms of shade match, this one wasn't too bad for me. I've applied the tiniest bit, and you can see it's taking its moment on my skin. It's not going anywhere. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal in terms of coverage. You do need to powder it because it starts to break down and melt on your skin, which is normal. Usually stage makeup is meant to last for just a couple of hours or something like that, but this is amazing, but it's too old. I've actually used quite a bit because this is so high coverage that having used this amount is quite a bit. And it has expired only last year. So, yay. This is still available. You can still find it. So if you're curious, you can look it up. But this one for me, It's Time With Me is done. If I ever need to cover a tattoo, I'll consider buying this because this was extremely affordable. I think 20 euros or something like that for something that would last you forever, as you can see, with huge coverage. So it was a good deal, you know, in terms of stage makeup and very high coverage. And I loved it on my very acne flared up times, but yeah, it's time for it to go. I'm so sorry for the planes. Can't do anything about them. Just don't come to Portugal. Please. We need to sleep. Anyway, let's jump into these bad boys here. These are the NARS Soft Matte. Soft Matte Complete Concealers. I have one in medium 1, custard, one in medium 2, ginger, because again, winter and summer shades, this rubberized thing, I'm not a fan. I love it, but don't love it. These have served their purposes. The shade match isn't absolutely phenomenal. Again, NARS goes a bit too peachy, even on the warm undertones. But they have served their purpose. I just don't use them anymore. I don't grab them anymore. I haven't used them in a long time. So it's just wasteful in terms of space in my house to keep them, and I'm just hoarding at this time. So these are going. Nothing against them, great concealers. I just prefer these bad boys, so these can go. Let's jump into these more liquidy things, shall we? This one, this is the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer in the matte finish. I got mine in medium warm, and again, this is very white. At least it's a yellow white, but it's still very light on me. So it's going to go just because of the shade match. I also found that although it is pretty heavy when you apply it, it almost fades. You can see it's really yellow on my skin, which is great on the eyes and stuff like that if you are lighter than me. But it's a very thick concealer that then turns into a more, I don't know, a more thin layer, and after that it dries down, and it's great on blemishes, but it doesn't enhance any texture, and under the eyes on me it's impossible. But it dries down to almost nothing if you blend it out to this kind of thickness. I'm touching my skin, it has completely set. That's amazing. For the rest of the face, it's a great concealer. It just doesn't match my skin any day of the year, so it's gotta go. The problems with online shopping because we don't have e.l.f. here, just life. Again, now let's go into the dose of colors. Meet Your Hue concealers. As you can see, I gave them lots of love, and I have mine in 10 and 12. You can see the shade difference is quite intense. It is a very good high coverage concealer. Thing is, where are they? Oh, I forgot to put them here. 1 second. These were out in my vanity, so I forgot to put them here, but yeah. What I meant to say was that ever since I started using the Dior concealers, these took a back seat, and I much prefer this this formula. This is a bit more drying overall, so these are going, and of course, you may have guessed, now that we mentioned them, the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealers. I love them. The undertones on these are so close to my skin. When I'm in between shades, I just mix these two. I have 2WO and 3WO, and I love them. Great coverage for both the face and underneath the eyes, I'd say. You can shear them down, and I really like them. They take a bit longer to set, but they don't look textured on my skin, at least. I really like them, really rate them. As you can see, I've been using them a lot. Oh, in you go. And now that we're on the Dior kick, the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector Concealer, I have mine in 2W. Sadly, they don't have the O undertone, undertone on these concealers, but they're sheerer, to be fair. This is a slightly thinner cream. I like the brush applicator. I know that may not be for everybody, but I really like it to go into the little nooks and crannies. And I like this as an everyday concealer for under my eyes. Can't stop using it. Won't stop using it. Love it. It's fairly recent in my collection, so of course it's staying. This one, again, RIP Becca. This is the Luminous Concealer or something like that. Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. Becca is gone. I've used this to death. If I scrape the sides, you can see there isn't much on the sides either. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. It is a very thin concealer, nice texture, not much coverage, but it got the job done for those no makeup days when you want something lighter. And I really loved it, but it's time for it to go. I don't pick it up anymore. So, bye. RIP Becca. This one, I got rid of it. I did a video about it, or including it, saying that I didn't get along with this. But then I saw so many people raving about it that I picked it back up and tried it again. And again, it doesn't work. For me, at least. This is a very thin formula. It has medium coverage at most. You can build it up. The good thing about this is that it is quite thin, but it sets almost like an alcohol-y formula, you know. I feel the alcohol on my eyes, actually, but it is pretty drying, and it enhances my under eye texture. On my blemishes, it's not enough coverage, and also it's a wrong shade for my skin or on my face. For under the eyes, it could work, the shade could work, but it's just too drying underneath my eyes. I can't make this work. So this time I'm saying actual goodbye to the Maybelline Superstay Active Wear Concealer. In case you're wondering, I got shade number 15. It's too light for me, but yay. Ouchie. Now these, I haven't talked about them in my channel for a while. These were hard favorites for years on end, and then came along the Dior. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Self-Setting, Light Capturing Self-Setting Concealers. These are really good. Again, similar in terms of coverage, more to the Dior concealer, So a medium light coverage, I say, very creamy. I like the self-setting feature, although it's self-setting to a point. They don't completely set, not like the e.l.f. Camo Concealer or this one that I've tried, the Maybelline one, those really set down. These stay a bit elastic on the skin, I'd say. You can pat them back into the skin if you want. Nothing bad to say about these. I've used them a ton. You can see again, scraping the sides on these, and there's lots of vacuum in there. But basically, I've been using the Dior Forever Skin Correct concealers, and I haven't been using these. And another thing, Makeup Forever, although it's a pro artistry brand, yada yada yada, I can't find a shade match for my skin, an actual shade match. This is a bit too peach, although it's a bit darker. This is yellow undertone, but it doesn't look as good. I don't know what they did with this. They're all a bit off. The same with their powder foundations. They're always just a little bit off. So I'm getting rid of these. The moment you get a good shade match in a concealer, everything else just pales in comparison. This is the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape concealer. This, I think, is the less drying version. I really like this. I have mine in 35N medium. It's a good color, especially underneath my eyes, but also on the face it's fine. Slightly peachy, but I can work with it. Nothing bad to say. It is creamy. It doesn't fully set, which may be good or bad depending on what you want it for, but I just basically used it up, and now I scrape this and nothing comes off. Basically hardly anything comes off on the little doe foot. So I think it has reached its end. It's nice. It's nice. It's a nice concealer. Nothing bad to say about it, but it's time for it to go. Whew. Maybelline Age Rewind concealers. These are so good. An old kind of product in our memories and recollections, but still amazing. I have light and nude here. I've used lots of the nude. I haven't opened the light yet. I think it's slightly too light for me. Let's see now in the winter time if I use it, or if it's too light for me, I'll just get rid of it, sadly. But this one, I've given it a good go. And it's a great affordable concealer, still high standards for it. I mean, it's super close to this. Super close in terms of texture, finish, everything. It's super close to the Dior. I'm keeping these. And these are the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serums. Same thing, super similar to the Dior Backstage Concealers. So you can save a few bucks if you try these. Everybody raves about these. These are not news. I have mine in vanilla and beige, and vanilla is a bit too light for me. Because these are in a pump, I can actually pass, because these are in a pump, I can actually pass these on to friends. So I'm gonna pass on vanilla and keep the beige color, because vanilla is too light for me. This poor little grubby thing. It's the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brightener. I have mine in Deep Butter number 7. I really like this. This has a strong yellow undertone, which I like to use as a color corrector for underneath the eyes. I don't always go for, although I do have some here, I don't always go for the pinky or peachy undertone correctors. Sometimes I go with a yellow undertone, and this is great. I hate the dispenser though. It spits, and you can't control the way it comes out. I hate it. I would much prefer a normal nozzle or a pump or a doe foot, something that wasn't this, because it can't control at all the amount of product that comes out or when it will come out. But other than that, I really like it. I like to use this layered under other cream concealers or liquid concealers, so this is staying. Now these color correctors, let's talk about this one. I know what you must be thinking. This has been discontinued, reformulated years ago. This is a cream. Why are you hanging on to it? This is the Erase Paste by Benefit. It has since been reformulated, repackaged. I haven't tried to find it. I think Benefit overall is super overpriced. So I haven't tried to find the new version of Erase Paste. But the product is in absolutely perfect condition. You need just a little bit. So that's why it's lasted me so long. Although it's a tiny jar, it lasts me forever. It's the perfect color for me to color correct my dark circles. And because I'm just using this on my face, I'm sorry, but it's staying. I'm keeping it. Just don't do what I do. Get rid of things that are expired, but I'm keeping it. This one, this is, again, Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I have mine in light to medium. This, instead of being a peach, is straight up pink. Can you see the straight up pinky pink? I like it. I don't like it as much as my Erase Paste. It is more recent though than my Erase Paste. So for that reason alone, if the Erase Paste goes bad, I know I have this until I find something better. But again, don't do what I do. I should be throwing this away. We're down to these two little palettes, and I'm going to start with this one. This is the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage Duo. Mine is in SC5. There you go. This is Lisa Eldridge induced. And I've tried every trick in the book. I tried to warm it up with my fingers. I tried brushes. I tried sponges. I tried diluting this with oils and moisturizers, and on very heavily prepped skin. This always enhanced the texture on my skin, even when I didn't have any blemishes, under eye. It is a good cream concealer for blemishes. It sticks to them. But if there's a teeny tiny bit of texture on that blemish, a tiny bit of dryness, whatever, it will cling on to them. I don't know how Lisa Eldridge does it, because she does it live on video, and you can see her doing her magic with this product. For me, I was never able to make it work. I'm retiring it. I'm giving up. Officially giving up. Bye-bye. Please don't say in the comments below that you have other tricks to deal with that concealer, because I've given up on it and I'm not going back. Now, this is the NYX Conceal, Correct and Contour palette. You have 6 shades, a couple of color correcting shades. This one is more for my skin tone, is more for contouring, and then you have 3 concealers, 2 of which are too pink for me. I can use them under the eyes maybe. I'm keeping it just because of the color correcting shades. This is a very thin, very creamy formula. It is sort of easy to blend, but you have to set it or it will stay slightly oily on your skin if you have oily skin. But it does work. It gets the job done, and I like to have a kind of color correcting palette at hand, especially if these 2 creams go haywire on me. I have this. I bought this year, so for now it's staying. It's not amazing. I far much prefer the Erase Paste in terms of texture for color correcting. It has the right amount of thickness to it, you know, and gripping without being too emphasizing the lines on your skin or anything. But this will do, that will do, and this is what I'm keeping. Now I'm going to count and see how many I got rid of and how many am I keeping.
So that's it. That was the clear up of my concealers, and I have my final tally here, my final numbers. I hope you have enjoyed the fact that I went through each one and gave you, as much information as I could about each one and my personal experience. It's all different for everybody. I may have decluttered your favorite concealer or kept something that you really dislike, but we're all different. And I have the final numbers here. I have decluttered 19 concealers. So there's 19 less concealers taking space in my house that I'm not going to use for several reasons. Pretty chuffed with that, and yeah, good riddance. We had a wonderful time, but our moment is done. And then I am keeping 14 concealers. I know it still sounds like a ridiculous amount of product to keep in terms of concealers, but my skin changes during the seasons, the needs change. Sometimes I need a creamy, thicker stick concealer. Sometimes I need a more liquid, more fluid, less coverage. It all depends, and I like to have all possibilities covered in a way. And also, my skin gets darker in the summertime, no matter how much SPF I wear, I know, but that's it. And I like to have a couple of shades sometimes of each concealer. So that's why I also have a very hefty amount of product at the end. I'm still pretty chuffed that I've gone through and got rid of more than half, which is kind of my happy place, knowing that at least half is going, I know this is not as an impressive video as a makeup palette or eyeshadow palette declutter, but I think it's part of our everyday lives to go through what we actually use, and I really like concealers. They're a part of my life, a very significant part of my life. Even when I'm not wearing much foundation or I want a lightweight day, I usually just at least under my eyes I apply a bit of concealer. So that's that. I hope you have enjoyed this video. As usual, if you have, please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you're going through a declutter, let me know what's the hardest part for you, which are the hardest products to get rid of, and all of that. I'm always interested in knowing, and you can chat with me in the comments below or on Instagram. I'm at the free.volous. Also, leave me a like if this video has sparked any joy for you. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Talk about me to your friends, and as always, thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.